Colts are still dealing with the aftermath of Andrew Luck retiring, and we did not plan that at all. It just kind of
Look
happened.
at that.
The Colts last night with Matt Ryan. The Colts aren't bad. They're not uncompetitive under Jeff Saturday. It's not a train wreck. It's not an embarrassment. However, I think we saw a little instance of the lack of experience when it comes to game management late in the game as the Colts were trying to drive down to force a game tying, or who knows, maybe would have had for the third time this weekend a walk-off two-point conversion, 25-24 win. We'll never know because they ran out of chances, and they tried to run out of time. It was a long drive. They had the ball inside their own 10. It was kind of like the kicker jinx when that drive started. Troy Aikman and or Joe Buck were talking about, that's too much field. They can't drive down, and they just start right down the field.
Yeah.
But when it got here, when he dove for the first down on 2nd and 17, and he didn't quite get it because the whole issue of, it's where your body part first hits when you dive forward. It was 3rd down. But it's tick, 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 tick. There's just no sense of urgency, Chris. It was just weird. So much time came off the clock. You've got all 3 timeouts. You're not going to use all 3 of them. They don't carry over the last time I checked. It was just odd to me that happened. And reasonable minds may differ because they still, I don't know if they had enough time to score. There's the 4th down play that there was question about whether or not there was pass interference. Good luck getting the flag out of the pocket in a moment like that, though. But that clock management,
yeah,
I just
it was
feel like it's
questionable.
pretty basic. At some point along that way, you take a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, listen, just the optics of it were certainly weird. You think about it just from this stretch of this part of it, right, where you just go, hey, they were at the 40-yard line with 2 minutes left, and here they were at the 40-yard line with 59 seconds left. So they had gotten nowhere and had a minute run off the clock. That was odd in itself, But I think Jeff Saturday. And I do think coaches make this, mistake at times where they maybe use those timeouts a little too early and panic. Oh, man, there's 55 seconds left. And you're like, well, there's a lot of time. You're on their side of the field, wait it out. So I do think coaches make that mistake sometimes. But I think this went, borderline the other way here where you're right. I mean, again, you ended the game and you got 2 left in your pocket and there's no use for them. That's never a good thing for a coach. And the other thing I think, that is, I don't know, good for Jeff Saturday, maybe, good for him, maybe bad for the fact that we didn't get to see how it finished out. The fact that they didn't get that last 4th down play didn't let it play out to now let us evaluate to see, wait, are you going to have enough time here? Because it's going to be dicey. It certainly is. It's 4th and 3, right? Looked like he had a guy open. As far as originally there with Paris Campbell, Troy Aikman, pointed that out. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do. It was kind of a weird route by Paris Campbell as well. But, Mike, they get a completion. Let's say he throws the ball to Paris Campbell in the flat there, and he gets the first down, and he only gets 2 or 3 yards. All right, now you're going to use the timeout. You're down to 24 seconds left, and you got 1 timeout, and let's just say you got the first down by a foot or 2. Now you're at the 25-yard line, and you have 1 timeout left with 23 seconds, 24 seconds, and you have a quarterback that is not known to, oh, wait, I can throw a 25-yard laser into the end zone, no problem. In fact, it's just the opposite. You'd go, why? I think you got to kind of go 6 and 5 and 6 yards at a time here. That's where we were cheated as viewers to this experiment with Jeff Saturday and really be able to evaluate the situation. So in some ways, I feel like he dodged a bullet by them not making the 4th down. But either way, I'm with you and Troy Aikman and everybody where I was going, wait, this is a little too much. I definitely would have called timeout after that 2nd and 17 run and dive by Matt Ryan.
And it may have been something as simple as when that drive began, there was so much time left that Jeff Saturday just flipped the little switch in his brain as to the things you're going to worry about on this drive.
Maybe too.
You don't have to worry about time.
Right.
Yeah, like that's off the table until it's on the table, and it's on the table and you didn't notice it. And then it's like, oh, crap, that clock's running. Yeah, but we got plenty of time. We're good to go. We got plenty of time. Yeah, but that clock's running. Maybe you got to revisit your plan. And this is the difference between you and I talking about it in this setting, people sitting on a couch talking about it, people in a broadcast booth talking about it and actually you being the one that is in the middle of the blender trying to make the decisions while it's all happening. That's where the experience matters, folks. And when you've never done it, and that's your first time of doing it, trying to drive down the length of the field to get a last-second win and manage the clock and do all these things and have a play call ready to go and keep it all together, things can get a little haywire.
Yeah.
And, boy, it was something last night hearing former colleagues tiptoeing around the obvious that it was Jeff Saturday's fault. They're trying to blame Matt Ryan. He should have called a timeout. When do we ever blame the quarterback for crappy clock management by the coach at the end of the game? Do we ever?
Yeah, right.
Do we ever blame the quarterback? When does the quarterback have the power to do anything other than Peyton Manning? Who has the power, the blank check, to do anything when it comes to the decisions made by the folks on the sideline? We've had the conversation within the context of Matt Ryan.
Exactly.
Super Bowl 51.
Right.
Yeah, hey, Peyton Manning would have changed that play. Would have kept the clock moving. Well, there's very few, and the list may be one.
Yeah, it might be.
Who's got the authority over the team to say, what the hell are you guys talking about? I'm not doing that. Or to just say, I'm taking a timeout. It's just there's a military mindset at play here. And you don't make those decisions, the coach does. And that's just the way it is.
No, exactly right. We had this conversation early in the year, right, when people were trying to kind of blame Russell Wilson for the clock management a little bit with the Denver Broncos in week 1. I've never seen anything, really. And even to your point, Peyton Manning is the only guy that I knew had maybe more freedom with some of that stuff than anybody in the history of football. And I still don't think he even had the freedom to what we think he did. I don't think in a big moment like that he was allowed to, override Tony Dungy and hint like, hey, coach, no, I think this is the time. I don't. If he did it, I don't think Coach Dungy would be like, oh, that was stupid, you're an idiot. But either way, Peyton Manning knew, wait, that's the general, and I'm one of the troops, and when he tells me, I'll do it. And I know he's gone through all these things in practice, and we've thought about it, and we've talked about it. And that's where, again, it's new to Jeff Saturday and the point we tried to make, right? It's the fact that guys like Bill Belichick are still learning these situations and still toying with the intricacies of it and still putting himself under the pressure and the situation itself at practice. Gosh, we got coaches who have been doing it forever and still mess it up on a regular basis. So it's not an easy thing to do. And yes, I know there was some former, guys that worked with him on TV. Yeah, that didn't want to go there, and that wasn't fair either. I mean, to blame it on Matt Ryan is completely ridiculous. And again, Jeff Saturday in this situation, it was not good, but I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, wow, that determined the game, and that was, just an absolute disaster. I think we got close to seeing a disaster, and that's why it was unfortunate we didn't see the 4th down conversion. I would have liked that, just to see how this played out and if they could have finagled enough time to get a touchdown. But, yeah, we got to call it like it is. That's our job in this business, and I think that's what you saw is some guys not doing that.
I have another thought on this, but before I go there, let's hear from Colts coach Jeff Saturday and Colts quarterback Matt Ryan about the failure to use timeouts on that final drive, including after the 2nd and 17 scramble that ended with Ryan diving head first short of the sticks. Here they are.
I thought we had plenty of time. I wasn't really concerned. We still had timeouts, so I wasn't too concerned. I really wanted, when he was going down, I couldn't tell where they were going to start him from going down, right? Like if he was going to get the first down, and then we got there. I expected us to get on the ball and have another play a little bit quicker than that. But again, this wasn't a press for time. We just didn't make enough plays.
Had the run, I guess, on 2nd down. I thought I was maybe a little bit closer than where they spotted it, but, I mean, that's neither here nor there. I mean, that's just how it goes with the new rules of when you go forward. So, I don't mind the call with going with some tempo, trying to get that first, and then probably bang a timeout after that first. We didn't get it, then have to take the timeout, and on the 4th down call, credit to them. They did a good job of jumping inside. We had some in-breaking routes, but, it's disappointing. It really is, because I think the effort is good, but our execution just hasn't been good enough.
Now, as it relates to Matt Ryan and whether or not he should have had the presence of mind after diving forward short of the sticks to call the timeout then and there, he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's out there exerting effort, running, which at 37, and I noticed he's just awfully skinny.
Yes, he is.
He's been around a long time. He's taken a lot of hits, and he doesn't have the natural body armor to withstand the physical abuse. But he's got to get up from that, and he's got to figure. It's like, what's going on? Did we get the first down? What's happening? He's looking at the sideline. What are we doing? What are we doing? I just don't think it's fair to expect him.
No, that's where Jeff Saturday,
I'm getting up and calling a timeout.
That's right. Because first off, the situation's changing as according to what happens, the scramble, all that. They don't know what it's going to go. So it's not like it was a concrete plan as far as what we were going to do before that play. Okay, now we scrambled. People are disheveled. Our quarterback's out of breath. We got guys downfield that now got to run back and get back to the line of scrimmage and do all that. That, to me, is why you call that timeout there. We scrambled. Here we go. We got 3rd and 3 now. All right, let's use a timeout. Let's kind of reorganize our thoughts here. And how are we going to approach these last 25, 26 yards to go in and get this first down here in a minute and then score the touchdown? That's why you call that timeout, in my opinion. And then, Mike, to your point, exactly right. Matt Ryan, he's getting up again. He's just a player. I mean, if we're going to start holding the quarterbacks, then we need to pay them $60, $70 million a year if they're going to coach the freaking team, too. I didn't know that was
And we got to blame Tom Brady.
Right.
And we got to blame Tom Brady for the clock management by the Buccaneers at the end of regulation on Sunday. And nobody's blamed Tom Brady for that.
Well, there you go. Right. We pick and choose where we like to blame in sports media at times, and we don't hold everybody to the same standard. But that's where, that's annoying. And, to your point, Mike, yes, you get up. He's listening in his ear. Wait, what's my offensive coordinator telling me? What did the head coach tell the offensive coordinator? And that's where the chain of command goes. So, for people to say it's Matt Ryan and he needs to be more aware, that's absolutely ridiculous. He's totally a player on the field, taking the instruction that's necessary, and then he executes it. He's not managing the game or managing the football team.
You used a great word there during your explanation that is not a Simmsism, that is a perfectly acceptable and appropriate word for this circumstances. You said the word disheveled, because that's how it seemed.
Right.
Just like at the end of the Week 1 Monday night game, the Broncos offense seemed disheveled and frenetic and out of sorts. And that's when it's incumbent on the captain of the ship to realize that the boat is sailing through disheveled waters. So we got to do something about it. He's the one in charge of monitoring everything that's going on. And this is where experience is your friend. It's iterations, repetitions.
Right.
I've been there. I've done that. I guarantee you, if they're in that situation again at some point over the remaining games of the season, he'll call a timeout. Why? Because he's learned the hard way. What happens if you don't? And if he is the coach next year, and I still think he will be, he'll be better suited for it.
Yep.
He's getting his experience on the job at the expense of the team, because a more experienced coach is going to call the timeout there when a drive that seemed like they had more than enough time. Yardage was the issue, not time. Well, we're not going to go through 93 yards against this defense, and they did. And the time just went off the clock too fast. Now, hey, Chris, if they had gotten the first down, right, let's say they take the timeout after the Matt Ryan scramble and dive.
Right.
Take the timeout, settle down.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that, Jeff Saturday already knew the play calling wasn't changing, so the timeout didn't matter. The timeout wasn't for the purpose of picking your play. The timeout was for the purpose of just getting everybody. Let's calm down here.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got the defense on the heels and you want to keep going. Sometimes you're all over the place and you want to get it settled down.
Exactly
In that situation, it wasn't about keeping the Steelers backpedaling. It was keeping yourself from backpedaling.
Yeah, right.
So
Right.
let's call. Let's make sure. Oh, I know what play I'm going to run here. Well, maybe we change our mind during the timeout. Let's be a little flexible.
Exactly.
Here.
Right.
There's something to be said for being flexible in all circumstances.
Yeah.
So then they got 2 timeouts left if they had taken it, and then they convert, and then if they're in bounds when they convert, see the beauty of having 2 timeouts with that much time left, you got the whole field open.
Yeah,
to you.
sure.
There's a benefit here to having multiple timeouts. If they had taken it after the 2nd and 17 play,
right,
we can throw an in cut. We don't have to go to the sideline. We don't have to go to the end zone. We got 2 more. We got 1 we can use after we get the first down, and we got 1 more in our pocket. So it could have worked out very well. I agree with you completely. We were robbed of seeing whether or not this laboratory experiment that Jeff Saturday was trying to put together was going to work or not. It never got to the point where Peter Brady touched the 2 wires together to see what happened when the volcano activated.
Right.
It didn't happen because they didn't convert. You know, they get that 2nd or 3rd and short, and then they get stuffed so quickly. It's like we didn't know what the hell happened. Now, I again, the point is this. It's on the coach to make the decision. And this isn't Jeff Saturday is stupid, Jeff Saturday is dumb. That's not what we're saying. We're saying Jeff Saturday is inexperienced because it's through the experience that you learn. Sometimes you don't need the experience and you make the right decision first time up. But I guarantee you, as I said, that experience will be beneficial to him the next time he's in that spot. That's how you learn. The issue is, and this is why, he had a couple of opportunities to become the offensive line coach. If you're part of the staff, you're locked in, you're paying attention. You learn through someone else making the decision or not making the decision. He doesn't have any of that. He's got 3 years of high school, which is a completely different universe of coaching and realities and circumstances and everything that goes along with it. I mean, there's some commonality, but not much. There's probably more playing Madden than there is coaching high school football. So I just, look, it's his fault. And he needs to own it.
Yeah.
And his former colleagues need to not be so damn obvious about the pretzel into which they're twisting themselves to not criticize him at all.
Yeah, it's all right to question it. It is. And again, I don't think it's egregious, the error. I don't look at it and go, oh my gosh, what an idiot. I'm pulling my hair out. I was sitting there going, man, they're letting a lot of time go up. I mean, I understood. Okay, yeah, they're trying to save it to the last possible second. I get it. But I think the point goes back to everything we said. That, again, it's a 2-minute drive where it's a quarterback that can't throw the ball down the field. You're not an explosive offense. And you could have right there, 48 seconds left, 49 seconds left, call a timeout, reorganize. Wait, how do the Steelers play us? Let's think about this. What do they do in these type of situations? Let's get the right play called. And then also within doing that, you call the next play too. Because we get the first down, we'll have that. And also, I don't think, within that, if you had called the timeout with 49 seconds, now you're not going to be in this, deadly hurry that I think they were going to be if they did get the first down. And that's where, we would have liked to have seen that. But, again, it's a learning experience. Like I said, it wasn't the worst mistake I've ever seen in football. And I would have liked to see it play out. And also, I think we got to point out that there was a lot of positive things about Jeff Saturday and the Colts, too. It was. I mean, the fact that they hung in there and got their ass whooped the way they did, because that, to me, was like the story at first in the game. I just go, man, this is the Steeler culture. It's on full display. They just came out kicking ass, flying around, just smush your momentum right from the get-go. You're not ready for this. We see a weakness on you, and we're just going to exploit it and just suffocate you and not even let you get, into the rhythm of the game. We're going to hit the ground running, and you're not going to get a feel or a rhythm of the game until late in the second quarter. And then, for them to bounce back the way they did, that was impressive. But then, again, the Steeler culture kind of went back on display. Like, okay, well, we were ready for this type of game, and we're fine with it. Here we go. And, they pulled it out. And that's where I can't say enough about Mike Tomlin. But it was a good game. For a game that is not real good playoff teams or anything exciting that way, it certainly wasn't lacking of drama and, a very competitive, close football game. It was fun to watch.
16-3 at the end of the first half. There was a field goal that was blocked by the Colts.
Yeah.
Or a Colts attempt that was blocked by the Steelers, to be more accurate. and it would have been 16-6, but 16-3, and
it seemed like it was over almost, right? I mean, you felt like
the long kick return changed. It did. It's like here's another Monday night game, just like 49ers Cardinals last week. I'm going to be sitting here just kind of watching and waiting for something
they're just
going to
dominate.
I can't check out. I got to talk about it tomorrow for the first half hour of the show or longer. So I'm going to sit here and watch it, and the next thing you know, it's 16-10 because of the long kickoff return.
Big play right there. That really
just shows you. Hey, it reminded me of Thursday night. I said I wasn't going to talk about Thanksgiving night. That was 5 days ago. But the Vikings kickoff return for a touchdown by Ken Nwanwu, that changed. It just changes everything.
It does.
When you can do that, it changes the vibe. And they get the very short field and they cash in with a touchdown, and all of a sudden it's 16-10. And they're back in it. And to your credit, or to your point, to the Steelers' credit, once the Colts took the lead, they did not crumble. It felt like other teams would crumble and just, kind of like, not our night, not our year.
Right.
Let's just get out of here. We tried. It failed. And they just kept pushing and fighting, which is one of the key characteristics of a Mike Tomlin team.
That's right.
Why you never write them out, even when they're 3-7. And they hung in there and they got it done. So credit to both tems. Colts came off the mat,
good, right?
And the Steelers didn't let themselves get knocked out when the Colts came back to life.
Yeah, no question, Mike. And I think again, you said it, Mike Tomlin. That is the greatness of him, and the fact that they have a plan and they stick with it. They know who they are. The defense itself, make plays. Got Matt Ryan and company, never let them get into a rhythm in the first half of the football game. And then offensively, they just play it close to the vest. It's a lot of, hey, Kenny Pickett, make a smart decision, make an accurate 4 or 5 throw. We're going to continue to be patient running the football. And they kind of just don't play outside of that realm. And that is a credit to Mike Tomlin and to, knowing who they are in that fashion. And then the fact that also, hey, I think the Colts, another thing I would criticize a little bit, I don't think they ran the ball enough. I would say that they could have ran the ball more with Jonathan Taylor. I know the key to that game was not drop back more with Matt Ryan and let T.J. Watt and company be around him. I mean, we avoided, 3-4 disasters there, right, where it was almost a fumble. And, oh, my gosh, because he's skinny and frail, like you're talking about. And the fact that he can't push the ball down the field at all. I mean, at all. And a team like the Steelers just thrives off that and gets to play downhill. Their defense was suffocating that way. And partly is because, hey, they're aggressive, but the other part is because, Matt Ryan and the Colts do nothing to scare you or back you off, and that's an issue they have as an offense.
This was a play in the first half, an amazing interception after multiple Steelers games this year where we've said they can't catch. The defensive backs can't catch. That was a hell of a catch. And
this is another big moment of the game. I mean, you got a chance to.
This was after. Okay, so the Colts score the touchdown to start the first half. They get a 3-and-out. They get the ball on their own 12, and they just work it down the field, work it down the field.
Yeah.
And then there's the moment where that fumble technically gets charged to Matt Ryan. You could argue it's Jonathan Taylor's fault, but he never had possession of it, so it's a Ryan fumble. But even after that, the Colts didn't give up, and they got the ball back.
Another 3-and-out by the Steelers, and they
scored their touchdown and went up 17-16, and that's when it just felt like, hey, the Colts are going to pull this damn thing off, and that's where you got to give Kenny Pickett and the Steelers credit. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.